Last year, I gave the Worlds Unlocked 23 box a C- in the digital edition and a B in the physical edition. And despite my harsh critiques, Riot Games has seen fit to bestow upon me another of their Worlds Unlocked boxes. But we're gonna find out if it's worth it to buy in this video, which once again, I'll be stealing from my favorite Magic the Gathering content creator. But first, did you know that you can sign up for Prize Picks and play games around Worlds in the description with the link that's there, and use my code when you sign up. You get a bonus with your first time deposit. They're sponsoring my Worlds coverage, and I'd love for you to check them out. There's a link in the description. So let's get into what this Worlds 24 box is. We're gonna be unboxing it, and as is the case with last year, I will just be doing this improvisationally. You'll be getting my first reactions to everything, and then once I am done unboxing this, I'll be going through and talking about the pricing of everything, about the physical items, if I think it's worth it, comparing it to last year's box, and comparing it to other products that Riot has on the market to see if this is worth it from a value perspective. Last year there was like a little thing in the front that you could try to open up. Maybe we'll put edits in and like a little box, corner box, what do they call those things? Picture in a picture. Is what they called it. Drew has alerted me to the fact that there is some cool art that you can't... Oh, you know what? I guess we'll just... It's like glued together. Okay, if you remove this tape, it feels painful. I don't think you're supposed to do it. I'm worried I'm gonna rip this. Okay, it turns into this. Okay, so the cheesy saying that Riot's gonna be using for this one is make them believe for this Worlds. I remember MSI was Become the Unknown, which is just an insane one. This is pretty cool art. I like what the artists have done. All right, there's on the box a nice little strip here that says make them believe. I'm a little nervous. I don't know if it's supposed to open this way. There's a chance everything's gonna fall out of it right now. But if you look at it, there's text vertically here. So that would make you think, well, I guess not. Okay, we're gonna open it like it's a chest. Okay. Oh, there's a thing here. So you are supposed to open it like it's chest. That was a close one. Da-da-da-da-da. Are you guys getting this right now? Chat, are you hearing this? That's actually, okay, that is way cooler. I did not know it was gonna do that. It's playing the World's anthem, which might become problematic as I try to record this, because I don't know if it's gonna stop or if it just goes on forever. But there's a little speaker here. That was really impressive. I've never actually, I know that that's like a cheesy thing you can do with boxes or cards or whatever, but I did not expect that at all. I had not watched any videos before this. And so that was legitimately really sick. I've talked before in other videos about how some of the purchase price of these things is getting to experience the unboxing moment. And I think that hit it out of the park. Like hearing the Worlds music and all that stuff, and then seeing like the story of Worlds, which shows all the winners. Like I'm legitimately very impressed with that. What you can see right now, it would have been really awkward if we'd opened it the other way. What you can see right now is that there is a Baron plush that we'll open in a second, but that's what greets you as you open it, plus this envelope. Last year, there was printed signatures from Nas and Jeremy. We're gonna find out if we get that again. No, okay. Oh, they took my feedback, folks. Okay. It's our honor to welcome you to Worlds 2024. Worlds embodies the pinnacle of League of Legends, the top teams, the greatest players, blah, blah, blah. So Nas signed it and Paul Beleza, who's the new executive producer, and they did put their signatures on there, which I think is way better than when they just printed it last year. So they have already upgraded the experience of opening this thing significantly, which I think is like when you spend a lot of money and you get this big package in the mail, you want to feel good about it. The big thing here, as he pops out of the ground, is a Baron plushie. We talked last year about the Tibbers plushie. This year we have a Baron plushie. So it's got kind of a shiny gold material here. There's the tag, Championship Baron Plush Worlds 24. So this is Championship Baron. I don't know if he's shocked, like he kind of has like the YouTuber like face going there, you know, because I think these are like his little, are these hands? He's shocked by the play that he's seeing right now. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Team Liquid and FlyQuest are in the finals. But yeah, I like this. It's pretty detailed. By the way, I really like the Worlds theming on it. I think that does a really good job of making it feel very Worlds. So we'll put Mr. Baron over here. Does it sit? Yeah, it sits fine. Okay, great. We have that, and then we have a Baron shaped hole much like the hole that someone left in my heart. It's not a barren-shaped hole in my heart, just to clarify. I know might be some confusion there. Aha! Okay, we're gonna go through these items individually. How do we wanna do this? I think we'll start with, so first off, we have a World's 24 Trophy keycap set. Okay, so we have some keycaps that have now come out of this nice little pouch, and it's made by HyperX. We'll get insert shots of these, but they're little keycaps, they're the lane logos. So there's like the top lane, bot lane, mid lane, etc. And then a little trophy that you can put on your escape key, because people don't use escape that much, I guess. And I really like the keycap stuff. This I think will be a theme based off of what I'm seeing in here. Last year there was a hat. There's no hat here, and I think one of the things that I had said was like, I want items in this that feel very functional, and basically everyone uses a keyboard. So we're already off to a pretty good start. Working our way down, we have a pin. So last year we had a pin. This is basically the same thing as last year. I mean, it says World's 24 on it, and it's a little different, but actually, you know what? It is not the same as last year. This looks a little smaller, which for some might be nice because maybe you want to put this somewhere like and have it be a little bit more discreet. But I do think the last year's pin, if I had to guess, was probably worth a little more, at least in manufacturing terms. So you can decide, but I do think that that is like a bit of a downsize on the pin. All right, next up we have what I think is another really great addition to this product, which is a mouse pad. A mouse pad is very functional, and I think pretty cool. And the art on it is a shirtless Viego. This will do really well with a certain demographic, I think, is what the art will do. I know some people who will probably be distracted in game if they use this mouse pad. Anyway, it's a HyperX mouse pad, and I think that's pretty nice. It feels pretty good. I think a lot of people now use pretty big mouse pads, so maybe there's a world where like this is too small, but actually probably a lot of people still use this size of mouse pad. It's significant. It is pretty thick. It's got some stitching around the edges of it. You know, a mouse pad is a mouse pad, but I think for like a Worlds package, this is pretty good. I really like the keycap of the mouse pad. I think that's a big improvement for making this something that is like practical for people to use. Our final item this time is a Lux statue. So last year we had a Teemo statue. This year we have Lux. So I can already tell immediately. Oh, okay. I was about to suggest that this statue seems a little less expensive than the other statue from last year, the Teemo statue. But I think they might have swapped out some of the value of the statue itself for some of these little accoutrements. First off, if you have been around the League of Legends space for a while, you have seen statues like this. This is like a type of statue that they've been making for, I think, a decade now. I don't know who manufactures them or how these are made, but they've just been around forever, and there's a ton of different characters that are like this. I will say, of the statues that fit into this, wait, you know what? Drew, can you go open that chest in the back? Yeah, okay, that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so I've asked Drew, because in the background, I actually have this. So this is what I'm talking about, where they have made these statues for a long time. And this is one that I probably got, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and this is a Vi statue. She's from Arcane, actually. They have had some issues. I think sometimes they're hard to stand. I think this maybe has a stand that's supposed to come with it. Anyway, just for comparison, here's like the Lux one. I think the Lux one is very nice. It does sit very secure. She's sitting in the trophy, and there's a ribbon on the trophy. I don't think ribbons are ever involved at all in Worlds. I've never seen anyone in any League of Legends esports event give someone a ribbon. So I think that that's maybe a little strange, but other than that, it's really nice. I think it's pretty polished, it's pretty intricate. I do think like this probably is a little cheaper to manufacture than the one that they did with the partner last year, but that's fine. Because I think one of the things that's kind of cool is there are all these little flags that are the different regions that are competing. So this is probably the last time you'll ever be able to get this LCS logo, for instance, on a piece of merchandise, because of what's happening next year, I think, is rumored. So you can slide the banner into her hand, and then you can put this little cap on the bottom of it, and now she's holding it. And so now you can make your Lux an LCS fan. That's pretty cool, actually. I really like that. I think this is better than last year's Teemo situation where you had like the little scarf you could put on him and then the glasses that would like damage the sculpture. I like the fact that You can personalize your statue. The other thing here is that she does have what appears to be a wand. So this is her wand, and yeah, you could, if you wanted to, if you're like, you know, fuck esports, I'm tired of the way that they're treating this and constantly trying to figure out how to make this work, and the players swap in and out, and I'm just getting completely disillusioned, and I'm just gonna leave esports after a career of 13 years. But you still wanna be able to display your luck statue. You can just swap out the banner for a nice little wand. Getting into the cost of all this stuff and if it is worth it. Well, let's talk about the digital items first. The digital items are basically the exact same thing as last year. You get a World's Event Pass, which is worth 1650 RP, a Viego Champion and Skin, which is 1350. You get a Chrome for that skin, which is 290. You get a Icon in game, which is 250. There's 2 emotes, one of which is exclusive. Those are 350. And then there's an unvaulted skin, and that last year I evaluated at about 1200 RP. You can go back and look at the last year video if you want to get a list of like all the different things you can get in it and which ones are higher and which ones are lower, but it is kind of random, and they tend to range, I think, between, I think it was 975 and 1350 if I recall. So I averaged that out to be about 1200 RP. So that comes out to 4400 RP. And one of the interesting things about this is that's just below $50, which is what you would need to do, or what you would need to spend to purchase this. But I just discovered while working on this video that there is no digital edition of this year. At least if there is one, they haven't announced it. If you look at the website, it only lists the physical edition. I couldn't find any information about a digital edition anywhere. And that's interesting because last year, all of that stuff that I just listed, you could buy for $65. Even though this was $50 worth of stuff. And so last year, in fact, I can't believe I gave it a C-. I should have given it a D. I guess I was just trying to be like friendly about the fact that it was the first outing or something. But last year, yeah, you could buy $50 worth of stuff for $65. And I guess they decided they couldn't do better than that. So they just didn't do the digital edition. Maybe they will announce it later. I don't know. But let's just say all the digital stuff that you get with this, because this is only physical stuff, is about $50. Now, let's get into this stuff. So the Lux figure is, I estimated to be about $30 looking at comparable stuff on their website. The Baron, so last year I said that the Tibbers was $35. Looking at the Tibbers again, feel as though the Tibbers is a little more intricate than this. It has some additional pieces that have been added to it, like a hat. It has the vest, it has a little bit of stuff. I still actually kind of prefer this more, I think, if I was looking at them both on the shelf. But I will say that I think this is a less valuable, even if still cooler, plushie. So I put this at $30, looking at comparable plushies on their store. So that's $5 off from last year. The pin is also, I think, smaller and maybe not as nice as the pin from last year. Last year, I had that pin at $15, but I was able to find pins that are more like this one specifically, for $8. Keycaps. Keycaps are really difficult. Riot Games sells keycaps on their store, but they are more intricate. But these, while cool, also kind of have a bit of a 3D printed effect to them. They don't look intricate. They look a little bit more basic and more simple. And I did find on the HyperX website some ones that kind of felt comparable, I feel like, in quality and build to these. And you could buy one of, and it was just the one key for like $15. So I'm gonna say that this is $15, and then I think I will generously say that each of these is like $1 each because there's 5 of them. So I put the keycap set at $20. And then the Mousepad, which I thought was really nice, is $20. I just looked at a HyperX website, found a Mousepad on their site that I think is comparable, $20. That one's only black, but I think, you know, the printing on it is fine. So all of the physical stuff here comes out to $108. So what's interesting is last year, the pricing for the physical was $125. And again, that physical got you the physical stuff from last year, the digital. This year, for the physical stuff and the digital, it's $99. So in a year where it feels like everything's getting more expensive, it is pretty cool to see the fact that they dropped the Worlds Unlocked physical price down from $125 to $99. I think that's great, and I think that really helps out with the ratings that I'm about to give it. All right, so ratings. Last year, I gave the digital edition of Worlds Unlocked a C-. This year, I will give it the little like 0 with a slash through it, or whatever it is that you put on a form where it's like not applicable. It doesn't exist. Physical. All right, last year, this got a B. This year, I am going to give it an A-. I think this is a good improvement. I really like the fact that these things feel more functional now, more broadly applicable. It just feels more relevant to LoL esports and to Worlds than I think last year's did. And the unboxing experience was pretty cool. And while I don't like to charge money for that, I think that that's the type of thing that can kind of push grades up or down. Let's move into a final thoughts here where I talk about why it's only an A-. So there's a couple things. One, I don't know if I want to downgrade it for this or not, but it's worth talking about. The online branding for this says it's sponsored by Opera GX, which is a web browser. I've heard good things about it, but there's nothing here that feels Opera GX. Honestly, that's probably for the best. I don't know if I want to spend money on a product and then have like branding. I mean, there's like, I think if I was Opera GX, I'd probably be more annoyed by the fact that there's like HyperX branding on this stuff and there's no Opera GX branding on it. So I don't really understand where the sponsorship stuff came in. And I get it, like I sell sponsorships, the stuff those videos sponsored, like you just kind of put sponsors in certain places, but it just felt really strange that like this is Worlds Unlocked brought to you by Opera GX and there's not really any understanding of how. Like, is it $99 instead of $125 because of Opera GX? Because that's interesting. Is it a thing where this wouldn't exist if Opera GX didn't make it happen? They use browsers to construct all this. I'm confused by that. I understand the sales team needs to sell stuff, but I don't understand that. But you know what? We need sponsors. So I'm happy that Opera GX is giving LoL esports money, even if I'm confused as to the branding element here. The other thing that I have as a criticism of this is the same criticism that I had last year, which is they call this shit Worlds Unlocked. I don't understand how this is unlocking Worlds for me. It is really cool stuff. And I get that that's like, now it's, especially now with the more Worlds branding on it, it can feel a little bit more nitpicky. But again, I go back to when they first started talking about this product in the beginning of 23, there were somewhat veiled implications that you would get a package of things that would allow you to unlock additional world stuff. And when you think about these types of things, like if I get, a package around like a concert, like an Olivia Rodrigo concert unlocked, or the tour of some artist unlocked, usually what you're unlocking is like behind the scenes features, maybe exclusive access to some interviews that you wouldn't get by a really great interviewer, or you get some extra viewing stuff, ways to view the game, pro view, that type of stuff. There's just nothing like that. And what's interesting is, if I recall correctly last year, I don't have the stuff in front of me because it was kind of done last minute, but I remember when I went to Media Night, which is an event that they usually do the night before, a couple nights before finals, where they have press conferences with the teams, the performing artists, the Riot devs and all that stuff. That is usually available only to media. What they did last year, even though they didn't advertise this at all, was they made like an exclusive, if I recall, an exclusive Discord stream that people could go access if they had Worlds Unlocked to watch all that. And I remember being there and hearing from people who were like tweeting at me or putting it in Discord that had like a ton of technical issues and it was like a scuffed stream and people couldn't watch it. I feel really weird about that for two reasons. One, this is supposed to be like an experience that media get to create content to justify them spending money to fly across the world to go for one match. And so if they're like, fuck, we got to figure out what else to pit in this to make it worth it. Screw the media, just like, we'll give these people access to the media thing because it's not going to cost us anything. I think that's kind of lame as a person who covers the sport. And two, there were a ton of technical issues. And three, they didn't even include it as like a really well advertised part of it. So I don't know if they're doing that again this year, but I haven't been able to find anything online about how this is Worlds unlocking your experience. So if they just called this like the Worlds fan box, I think that would make a lot more sense to me. And I think it would be easier for me to give it an A. But as it stands right now, I still feel like they are kind of messing up the sales pitch on this. And, obviously it's up to everybody to like read the description and understand that this is only these items and then like some in-game stuff. But I just continue to feel as though I'm confused as to why this is. I think, not to go too far down this road, They were supposed to probably have access to a bunch of tech stuff they were working on last year that they've now canceled amongst the layoffs. And so maybe that's why it was called Worlds Unlocked then. Now they're just rolling it forward because it's a similar product, but I don't know, I think it's kind of weird. So I like this, I think it's great. Consider to yourself, do you care about these things before you purchase them? But if you are going to get, if you care about the Viego skin, if you care about all that in-game stuff, if you like all this stuff, hey, you're getting like $160 worth of stuff for $100. That's a pretty good deal, and it's a cool experience, and some of this stuff is a little exclusive. If you don't think you'll use the mouse pad, if you don't care about the plushies, if you don't play Viego, probably not worth grabbing it, but that's for you to decide. Either way, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you at Worlds.